longer than a minute, and I was never getting to it. But you know what? I did. I was like, yeah, we got this. We're going to go home with victory. Well, in a wild chance of events, with 15 seconds left, the Buffalo Bills score a touchdown, leading the game, leaving on the clock 13 measly seconds. To say that my heart was shattered is an absolute understatement. I was honestly, for me, I was really selfish because I was like, oh my God, I have to ride home with my husband for 3 hours. And he is going to be less than pleasant. Like it was all my nightmares. Well, somehow the Chiefs never gave up. They worked together as a team. And even though they had 13 seconds left, things were so grim for them. Somehow they kicked a field goal with 2 seconds left, securing overtime, and the rest was history. The Chiefs beat the Bills 43-36. How's that for teamwork?
All right. Way to go. And everybody has those stories, don't they?
Yes, they do.
There's a story behind the team getting together. For me, it was game 6. And I don't have to say any more. But everybody has that story. Let me see. That is not going to advance for me. So, what goes around comes around. Okay, now, Rick. Besides you, because I can see where that's going. What goes around comes around. What does that mean? What old adage does that bring to your mind?
Rick just texted me COVID.
This is a good interactive group. I love it. That's what we want. All working together. But things do come around, don't they? They do come around. I mean, the old adage is, as you sow, so shall you reap. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what goes around comes around.
The fourth law is you got to do what you got to do. This law isn't about an individual taking it upon themselves to come up with answers, but this is about fostering an environment for creativity that inspires employees to think of all the different possibilities from multiple perspectives. It's about persevering through challenges, and it's about learning from our mistakes, playing hard, and getting things done regardless of the time and effort it may take. I started in the county in 2015, and I know I am lucky because I've never went without a raise. I've never went without a COLA. But I know looking out here at all of you, you guys probably remember the bad times. You remember the times where there were no COLAs, where there were no raises, and really you had to make do with what you had. And this really embodies the you got to do what you got to do, which driving home my point is you have got to want to work hard, which leads into Cindy's next point.
All right. This is my favorite one. You got to want it. Right, Bob? You got to want it. What does that mean to y'all? You got to want it. Is it in your belly? Do you get to come to work? Or do you have to come to work? Megan, what's it for you?
I get to come to work.
You get to come to work. You got to want it. It's probably been challenging for you and your team over the last couple of years anyway, and it doesn't seem to be relieving itself anytime soon because we are all short-handed. We all are short-staffed. So it's hard to have that fire in your belly when you're always kind of treading water a little bit. But try to get that back in your belly again. You got to want it, help fight for your team. Get that momentum going for your team. And I know it's hard when we're all struggling with short staffs and et cetera. But know that you have teammates that are going to help you. Nobody's going to sink because we're all here together. We're going to help you.
Next is you can sometimes fool the fans, but you can never fool the players. This law is about keeping your cool. It's along the lines of things are going to go wrong. maybe there's gonna be a dumpster fire. That's the term that we use in our office, is dumpster fire. It's a good one. If you don't use it, you should. If you can keep a calm demeanor, others never realize you've skipped a beat. Maintain a level head on the outside, even though you're melting down on the inside. I thought it was funny that I got this law because I am not a public speaker. Obviously, I've already screwed up once, so I'm really nervous. I haven't spoken in front of people since college. And so for me to get this, it was funny because I'm probably the only person that's going to stand up here in front of you, have flashcards, and look down and actually get them. So, but I tell you all of that because as an employee, we know our day-to-day challenges. We know our day-to-day failures, but our citizens, they don't need to know that. It's not important to them. That's not what they need to know. I feel like this also pertains to us as employees. If I call you, or if a department calls me, maybe I'm busy. Maybe I'm in crisis mode. Maybe I put out the 5th dumpster fire of the day and it's only 9 a.m. But instead of allowing these things to consume me, I'm not going to spew my headaches and frustrations onto others. I'm going to keep that to myself because you don't need that. And how many times have you maybe called another department or someone and you can tell that they are frustrated that you're calling them? It is a really bad feeling, and I am vowing to you that I'm not going to do that. So I would challenge everyone to do the same.
All right, let's give Megan a real big woo!
Cindy, I guess I'm just one of the fans and not one of the players because she fooled me.
Oh, very good. Awesome. Thank you for that, Justin. She's awesome. There's no doubt about it. And you would never know it, Megan. You're doing a great job. Okay. The next law, 7th law, is when you raise the bottom, the top rises. And a number of you were around when we started the great game in 2012, and it was kind of foreign to folks. Not everybody understood what it meant. Not everybody was on the ship, for honestly. You know, that ship was sailing, but not everybody was on it. But we knew if we appealed to the masses, if we appealed to our employee base, and they got it, then the bottom would rise to the top. And the top would also rise. So one of the things that Jack talks about is there is no rank. There's no job title. There's no position. Everybody's a team member. Everyone is a leader. Regardless, everyone is a leader.
You can when people set their own targets, they usually hit them. This is for all the micromanagers in the world. Micromanaging does not work. When you hover over your employees and you give them no room to breathe, you're extinguishing all confidence and willingness to complete their work or even improve their work. By allowing an employee to set their own expectation, it does mean less failure. This law also helps provide more confidence and control to the employee. When an employee meets the goals they set for themselves, it improves their morale and shows them what they're capable of. I would also urge any employee that sits out here that is being micromanaged, is having their confidence shattered into a million pieces day after day, have a conversation with your supervisor. Sit down, have an honest, open conversation with them. It could sound something like this. Like, hey, Rick. To set goals for myself. I'm happy to go over my goals, and when I reach them, I'll let you know when I've completed them. And I think this would really help keep me motivated. I know Rick's a huge micromanager.
I think you're a loser.
Oh,
Did you get that down, Mary?
Yeah.
that's good, Megan. I like that.
I was gonna do Barnes, but he wasn't in here.
So if nobody pays attention, people stop caring. So if a tree falls in the forest, who hears it? So it's important that we pay attention. We pay attention to the little details. You know, all of the big things are really noticeable, i.e. executive. All the small things. The big things, we're all jumping on ship, we're all trying to solve it, we're all trying to figure it out. It's those small things. And so small things that make a difference to enable people to stay motivated, to keep interest, to not lose that interest or not lose that caring about what you're doing. You got to wanna, because otherwise people stop caring.
All right, and the 10th law is, as they say in Missouri, it rolls downhill. I was going to say it, but Malin's sitting right. So this means that change begins at the top. This is for everyone who manages another person. Change is great. Change helps keep us fresh. Change is sometimes necessary. Elected officials, administrators, department heads are all in a position to change things at will. It's their responsibility to do what's necessary. But our elected officials, our administrators, our department heads, they can't be everywhere at once. They don't always know what's going on. So as employees, it's our job to keep our eyes open and our ears out. And if we know of something that needs to be changed, if we have suggestions, it's our duty to give those to the people that lead us, to give them suggestions with meaning behind it. I can sit in here and you can probably ask any of the commissioners sitting in here or Chris Coulter. I love giving suggestions and I always give suggestions. So, but I do try to make sure that I'm not just spewing out blanket statements, that I have stuff to back it up. But I feel like as an employee, it is definitely our duty to have open conversations with our leaders. If we know something's not going to work, let's speak up and say something, because that's the only way to have a happy place to work.
All right, thank you. So in true Jack Stack fashion, he can't stop with the 10 higher laws. He has to have an ultimate law. And that ultimate law is, this is the ultimate law. Okay. It just seems so wordy when it's up there. I'm going to paraphrase that a little bit because it does seem a little wordy. So you need to appeal to the highest level of thinking. And in front of that, you'll get the highest level of performance. Okay, so what does that mean? You know, you don't want people to just do their job. You want people to have purpose in their job. What is the purpose in the job? How can you try to aspire to that highest level of thinking? What gets people to that highest level of thinking? And then by doing that, how does that raise the level of performance? So does anybody have an example of where that might be applied or how you might have used that in your department or office? Just kind of appealing to the highest level of thinking to get the best performance? Bill, do you have anything for juvenile?
Oh, no, I guess so. I mean, one of the things we always talk about in juvenile is what is our why? Why are we there every day? And we try to, incorporate that into our vision statement and our mission statement. And so sort of having those attributes and those goals sort of in everybody's view every day is sort of a way to get folks to realize that they are working on a mission as opposed to just a job. So that's something we try to do.
So that's an ideal example. We did not rehearse that. I called on him cold.
No, I was daydreaming here.
And that's exactly it. If everybody understands the why, we're all going in the same direction. We understand the why behind it. Great example.
So I'll leave you with this. All these laws are basic. They're not rocket science. It's a no BS approach to success. It holds each of the employees responsible and accountable for their future while at Greene County. So no matter what department you're in, no matter what position you hold with the county, you have a profound effect on creating an efficient, happy, successful, and trustworthy place to live. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so I came up with an experiment that I wanted to try. So there's over 900 employees in Greene County, and there's no way that you know all of them. So I thought it would be fun if everybody gets up, finds somebody they don't know, introduces themselves, tells them where they work, what they do with the county. So before you go and do that, I want to give 2 things out to you people. So the first is everybody that's here today, whether you're an office holder, department head, an employee, come back next week. Come right back here next week. And my second thing I urge you to do is find somebody that doesn't know what Great Game is, that's never been to a huddle, and bring them with you. And let's pack the pews and let's all learn together. So let's meet new people.
Nice job, Megan.